Hey, what's up? Run Pure Sports. We got Swing for the Fences. I'm Holden Kushner, and I got Hoop, and I got TItletown. What's up, Title? How are you, buddy? What's going on over there?
Good. Hey, it's good to be back on the show. Starting the new week. We already got some basketball going on, sweating that out. Bucks were able to pull it out. I admit they're definitely not looking as good as they did pre-quarantine and all that. Obviously, still my team, still going to ride with them. I think the East is definitely a lot weaker than the West, but getting there, I think they can still do it. Winning it, yeah, my dreams they're shrinking by the game. So, but it was a good day. In Discord, I had Vooch as one of my top plays. He was one of my favorite plays on the slate, called a bold 60 burger.
Hey, Hoop, does he know this is the baseball show?
Hold on. No, yeah, I do, but I mean, NBA's.
Did you know that?
Yeah, wasn't the question how was I doing? Not how is the MLB slate?
Basically, there's a baseball show, okay? So I'm just steering you in the direction of, hey, but listen, if you want to talk about Giannis, he'd be throwing fastballs from 30 feet away. He can throw 30 miles an hour and the thing look like at 100.
I'm definitely down to talk more basketball. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, I mean, I'm not on the NBA shows, and I'm hearing all these Giannis slappies that hate that can't stand Giannis or getting a little trash on his shooting or stuff. I got to fire back once.
That's just Big T. We take what Big T says with a big grain of salt and move on. He's a big Giannis hater. But I mean, real quick, before we get into baseball, I guess now he's got me hooked. Unfortunately, dude. I mean, the West, they haven't been. I mean, there's nothing strong in the West right now either. So I mean, even though the Bucks are looking a little down, I mean, it's you don't know, man. I think it's anyone's ball game.
No, yeah, I mean, my bet, I mean, is probably anyone and stuff. I mean, the West definitely looks a little better, and then with the Gordon Hayward stuff, and I mean, Lowry rolling, yeah, I mean, it's so up for grabs, and just in a unique situation of everything with the NBA where it's as wide open as it gets. I mean, it's so fun. The new format, you're watching games from the afternoon. Games are going on right now until you go to bed. I mean, perfect format, Holden. But hey, I see you shaking your head. We'll start talking baseball. We got a nice little slate, nothing huge, so it won't take a whole hour.
Look at Title.
Just warming the people up. I know the people in the chat are doing both, so got to give them a little both worlds.
I know. We do have a smaller slate. It is 7 games, so we're probably not going to go too deep. So if you want to get your likes in, get it now. Or we're not going to go too deep time-wise. We're obviously going to get really deep into the game. So, Hoop, what are some of the decisions you're trying to make right now? I know you guys were talking about FanDuel and the pitching before it started. What's a couple of big decisions you think you're going to need to make before lock?
Yeah, I mean, the top pitcher, if you're talking raw points, I think it's clearly Trevor Bauer today, and it's easy to get him on DK. He has a silly price tag at what are we looking at? 10.2K. It's just a silly price tag on him. You play him in cash games, you play him in tournaments. On FanDuel, though, the decision's a little tougher because they actually did. I mean, usually, we always do give FanDuel crap for their pricing. Well, they priced Bauer.
If you play him in tournaments on FanDuel
properly today. All right? Am I the only one hearing that?
Nope.
It was on someone else. Yeah, no, you're good. Someone else. I don't know what it was, but you're good.
Yeah. Bauer is they priced him up. Like I said, we give FanDuel a lot of crap for their pricing. They got him all the way up to 12K. And then, the next most expensive guy is Flaherty at 10K and then Lynn at 9.8K. So the decision on FanDuel is a little tougher at pitcher, but on DK, I think it's very clear what you do. You play Bauer at the top.
Okay. Jay Reed, I'm not calling him TT Boy, all right? But he was allowed to take a victory lap for Voot. So good job. Did you take that victory lap yet?
Well, I mean, I was getting there, and then I was a little interrupted. Right about the time I was getting to that victory lap, so I cut it out. Jay Reed, though, was in Discord. He said he took the Vooch play, so he was hyping me up a little bit about it. I appreciate it. Not all the calls go that way. I mean, I was trying to take mine, though, but got a little interrupted.
All right, guys.
I'll go right to baseball and pitching. Hoop kind of brought it up. We'll start with FanDuel. Yeah, we'll start with FanDuel, the one pitcher site. Yeah. Bauer, as he mentioned, definitely is priced up, and I haven't been finding myself with the money in the builds. There's not really a clear hitting spot today, so it's not like he's definitely in play in tournaments. I definitely would sprinkle some. We don't have Coors. We don't have wind blowing out in Wrigley, so it's definitely you can get Bauer, but there's enough bats where I like the D-backs and other bats where they're a little priced up in the 3K range that I just can't find myself getting them. So I'm in the same tier looking at Lance Lynn. He's my favorite. Flaherty, Hoop mentioned to me pre-show that he might be on a pitch count, like 80 pitches they were kind of talking about. So in cash, that's something that I can't do. I want the quality start, or I want the 6-inning strikeouts, all that. And then in the mid-range, we'll mention someone when we get there, but there's someone else I'm looking at. But pitcher is a very concentrated pool for me. I won't be going down to the lower tier. There's not enough bats that are needed. So very concentrated. Lance Lynn, Bauer, and then one other in the mid-range, and that's all I'll be playing today.
Well, what's wrong with Jesus Luzardo? I love this guy. The Texas offense is garbage. They like to strike out. Luzardo hit 50 FanDuel points in his last start. He's a guy I'm a big fan of him as a real-life pitcher. I feel like he came out with a great start, and outside of Bauer and maybe Lynn, to me, as the third highest ceiling, Hoop, does he have enough of a floor to consider him in cash?
Yeah, I would be fine. The only problem is, like Titletown just hit on, it's like we don't have these expensive bats that we have to pay up for. So it's kind of easier to go ahead and get up there. I will have some of him, and I'm only playing 3 pitchers today. We've already talked about it. It's Bauer, Lynn, and Luzardo. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Luzardo, yes. Yes,
Luzardo. Those are the only 3 guys that I'll be playing today. I don't think you need to go elsewhere, even in tournaments. I think you just keep a tight core. And I read JT's write-up today on the playbook, and he was kind of in the same boat too. Like, he just doesn't see himself going to any of the other pitchers, and I think it's the right move. Just a very tight core at the pitcher position today.
I mean, is there anybody, like if you're playing tournaments, anybody that you would go down the list for outside of Bauer and maybe Lance? Didn't Lance Lynn have like 40 games with 100 pitches or more? Like, he was doing stuff that was unheard of. Lance Lynn was going deep into games, so we got to look into this 80 pitch thing. But besides for Bauer, Maeda,
80 pitches is for Flaherty, not Lynn.
Flaherty, okay, that's what I was going to say. I was like,
yeah,
Lance Lynn throws 100 pitches every single game.
No, he'll have his leash extended out. And then I mentioned I was going to play 3 pitchers, and as Hoop mentioned, Luzardo, as you talked about, in the mid-range, Luzardo at 7,700 is my third. In cash games, I'm not finding myself needing it, but for sure in tournaments, I'm only playing 3 pitchers, mix them all around, and that's the third one. I mean, pitching's very, very straightforward. Let other people get cute and play guys that are 8%. I mean, 8%, 7%, all those add up in baseball for sure. So, I mean, if they blow up, that blows up your lineup. So don't get cute at pitching. Baseball is a very high variance sport, but right away, I always plug in my 2 favorite pitchers or my favorite pitchers on the slate and let bats figure himself out, just because there's so much unknown and stuff. So pitching very concentrated. Hoop and I didn't even talk pre-show or anything, and it sounds like we're on the same page exactly. So that's always a good sign.
All right, let's start with the Cubs at the Tigers then. And you got the rookie Mize going to the mound for Chicago. And I think the Cubs are going to be pretty popular tonight, especially the heart of that order. Guys like Schwarber, who hit the home run yesterday, and Baez, or maybe it was this weekend Schwarber had it. He hit a couple Schwarber bombs. Contreras, I think, could be popular today. Rizzo could be popular today. Then you look on the other side with Detroit, and Detroit's kind of sneakily put up some big offensive numbers. I don't really get a sense as to how popular they're going to be tonight. They're going up against Alec Mills. Alec Mills likes putting runners on base. He also has some strikeout upside. So I guess he had 7 against Milwaukee. But look at this. Look at this game here. Is there any offense from either side that you're excited about?
Yeah, I mentioned a little bit before the show that there's just not an offense that really sticks out to me a lot. So a lot of just okay spots, mediocre, and the Cubs are falling in as one of my favorite offenses today. It's a pretty talented lineup. I like the top of the order for sure, and that's who I'm targeting. Happ, Rizzo, Baez, Schwarber. I know that's the top 4, but those are the 4 that I'm really, really looking at. On FanDuel especially, they're very affordable. 2,700 for Schwarber is way too cheap. Homered yesterday. Rizzo in the 2-hole, 3,300. I mean, you can get all of them, and they're pretty much free. Draftkings, they did a little better job, I guess, but they still didn't even do a good job. 5,200 at Rizzo is the most expensive, but they still have Happ at 3,900, Schwarber at 4,100. So I will definitely be having Cubs in some cash games, some tournaments. I'll be looking at them. I don't think the other who they're going against, I don't think he's a gas cannon Mize. he is a pretty good prospect, has some good stuff, but as a rookie, I mean, it's really tough on this slate and pitchers that are actually pretty good and serviceable. You got to find someone to pick on. I'll definitely pick on a rookie with a good Cubs offense.
Hey, Hoop, either one of these offenses for you. I'm not hearing a lot about the Tigers. I guess, you'd really have to be in a multi-entry GPP to consider them, but what are you doing with the Cubs?
Yeah, I mean, the Cubs I do like. I mean, Mize is a good prospect, high strikeout guy. I think he'll have a solid career, but, he's a little rough around the edges, and he's going to put guys on, and he's going to strike out guys as well. But I'll be on the Cubs. They're cheap, like Title said, on FanDuel, and not overly expensive on DK either, so I'm good with them. Tigers are interesting to me. Their team totals kind of come up today. The total in this game came up, and most of it was on the Tiger side, so they're 4.5 runs here, cheap guys. Now, this is a lineup that I'd be looking to, maybe play if I'm going to try to get up to Bauer. It is on FanDuel. It is harder to get up to Bauer on FanDuel. Maybe take a look at a secondary offense like the Tigers and plug in Bauer with them. Then you can get another, solid offense here. Wouldn't even hate like a game stack. Mostly, my favorite part of this game is clearly the Cubs offense. Not an offense that excites me at the bottom. I know we talk about it a lot going to the bottom of the order, but if I'm stacking the Cubs, I'm going to have a hard time not playing Rizzo, Baez, Schwarber, Contreras, or Happ. Like going down to Hayward and these other dudes down there, not much interest. So it's mostly Cubs top of the order dudes for me here.
Yeah, I got a little issue with the Cubs. I mean, first of all, their offense is just – it's not the same without Chris Bryant. The second thing, I want to talk about Mize real quick because he's a legitimate elite prospect. And I watched that start. His splitter's nasty. What he was doing was working on his cutter, trying to locate that because he said last time instead of coming in on the left-handed batters, it was sitting out over the middle of the plate. If he can work that out, the Cubs are going to be in trouble tonight. I'll just tell you that right now. But it does make sense from looking at the slate that – it's almost process by elimination. Isn't that how you're going through offense tonight? It's like, this one stinks. This one's all right. Maybe we can make a case for this team. Also, want to let you know, no weather concerns tonight. There's just nothing going on. The wind is not blowing out in any of these games on the main slate. We're not going to have in-game disruption. So it should be a nice night that way, which is nice to see. I guess the next team we look at is the Minnesota Twins. A little less than 4.5 implied total. This is a team has kind of been stuck between 4 and 5 runs. They blew up for 7 runs a couple of times, but the offense has not been nearly as powerful as it was last year. Tonight they get Savali going up against the Indians. Aaron Savali, I'm just looking at the 33.75 Draftkings points his last start, but that was against Pittsburgh. So here's his last couple of starts, Detroit and Pittsburgh. But he did have success against the White Sox, the Twins, the White Sox. So this will be his second start against the Twins. Title, we start with you. Twins offense is Nelly Cruz, Polanco, Kepler, all these guys. Are they in play tonight?
Yeah, so I'm not going to be on the Twins as much. Savali is I think he's a solid pitcher, and I mean, better than solid. I think he's good. The Twins bats I will target instead of the Cruz in that, I'm going to target the lefties and Kepler and Rosario. We have seen some problems with Savale against lefties. His fly ball rate's almost at 44% while he keeps the ball down against righties. So Kepler and Rosario are the two up top in the 1 and 4 hole that have really hit righties well. Good bats in that lineup. Don't see them being too popular. And that's my mini stack I like. Cruz a little more expensive than I like. Always we're going to get some ownership. I don't think he's going to be too popular, but some other bats I like up top a little more. But it's the lefties for me. I still don't think I'll go there in cash. I really don't like this game in general from a hitter's perspective, but tournaments definitely. I mean, Kepler and Rosario have power, struggles with fly balls, so I think those two make the most sense.
Yeah. How about you, Hoop, Minnesota? And then maybe we can work on the Cleveland side too, because they've been hitting the ball a lot better lately, but they're going up against Kenta Maeda. I don't think it's a great matchup whatsoever. Can you target anybody in these two offenses?
Yeah, the only spot I have interest in is the Twins. If you're big time MMEing, if you're doing at least 20 teams or up to the 150, I'd always play the Twins. I mean, their offense is just so powerful from top to bottom for the most part. I'm planning on doing around 20 teams tonight. I'm gonna have a couple of twin stacks. Not gonna go overboard there. One other issue is I look at Vegas totals quite a bit, and this one has come down since the day it has gone on. So a lot lower on this game. I'm not going to play any Indians. May it is good enough. I don't have much interest in these guys. Their team total's low, right around 4. So for me, like I said, it's going to be 5 to 10% of the Twins lineup in MME tournaments, and that's about it.
Hey, hit the like button down there. We're at 45. If we get to one, well, we're not going to last the whole hour because there's not a lot of games. So let's get to 110. We get to 110. One of you guys is going to get some free Run Pure swag, which I believe. Did Tony get out to FedEx over the weekend and get those out? Do we know?
I believe so. I mean, that was the plan.
Package waiting, so it might be that. It might be my Run Pure sports gear. That's a nice hat too, Hoop. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Now, was it fitted, or do you get the little thing in the back?
You get the thing in the back.
I like that. I like the thing.
Yeah. You get the whole shebang.
And basically, one thing I've learned about DFS is that you have to wear a hat backwards in order to be taken seriously.
That is true.
I tried it one show, and hold on a second. It just didn't work, guys. And the other thing is I never wear hats. So the only hat I have is like this 1990
that thing's sick.
Hat. The thing is literally 30 years old. You can't see just the background.
That's a nice one.
Bother. But you guys do have to wear hats backwards, or you're just not a part of the posse. And I'm feeling out.
I just flipped mine to front now that you said that. Saw Hoop had his on front too, so we'll rock with the show. Yeah, you're usually
the
back.
I'm usually back just because of the lighting. Sometimes if you get the lighting the wrong way, the brim, the shadow projects on your face. Yeah. But the way I got my camera set up today, the front's looking good, so I'm going to stick with it.
I like it. Yeah. I can't do it, guys. Sorry. I just can't.
Yeah, that's all right. My hair is so long, so I got to wear it back. It keeps it out a little bit. I don't know. I got to get a haircut pretty soon.
All right.
As you mentioned, this slate, it's not going to take a whole hour.
No.
That's why we're just having fun and stuff. Not this slate's pretty simple just for the viewers.
Let me bring something else up too. And if you got a problem with it, that's fine. Just let me know. So I'm now in my 40s, and Joe Band says you not wearing a hat backwards gets you laid 100% of the time. Being out of the dating game for 11 years and being back in, it's the most odd thing ever. Now there's pansexual, sapiosexual, this sexual, that. I don't even know what to do. I'm just ladies, I should say. I sports bet and I play DFS and I watch a lot of sports. Does that? And they're like, no, we're looking for a sapiosexual. I don't know what that is, guys. Have either one of you been single the last 10 years? Because I came back to a new world. I'm like, Tinder's going to be easy. All these girls that were trying to get laid 10 years ago, now they just want serious relationships. Where do I go for this? I don't want to go to adultfriendfinder.com. That's not my style.
I think Title's your guy. Title lives in a frat house. Title has to have the answers. He's in the frat house, right?
Frat house?
No, they just like to say. 10 years ago, I was watching Carlos Delfino and Michael Redd for the Bucks, so I wasn't really with a bedtime at 9 that I could watch only till halftime. So I don't know what was going back then. I wasn't in the last couple of years.
Plus.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been out of the game, have a girlfriend, so I think I don't even think Hoop's the right guy either. They're maybe in chat, someone will help you out.
No, I don't think anybody else is stuck. It sucks. It's
hey, you just watch sports and find a girl that likes watching sports too.
That's the problem, though, man. That is not easy.
No, my girlfriend doesn't love sports either. It's so
it's never going to work out. Just so you know, leave her now, so you can just. Find out.
I've been married 10 years. My wife absolutely effing hates sports. Okay.
Really?
And, she cannot, literally she will not watch 2 minutes of a game. If I turn on sports, she gone. So, it can work.
Just got to mix in the time, like JSU, watching a little American Pie, get good luck on the side. It's all about the balance.
You just crushed me. I should be on farmersonly.com. That is the market I have not tapped. Seriously.
There it is.
I don't wear a hat backwards or a cowboy hat. Let's just get to the rest of the slate. I apologize. Listen, it's a short slate. There's other things we can get to, people. Lance Lynn. I like Lance Lynn. Mr. 28.1% K rate last year, Mr. 28% K rate this year. We know what we're getting with this guy. They're not hitting the ball hard off of him. He has been giving up some fly balls in the mid to upper 40%. So maybe that's something if you really want to get contrarian and look over at the Oakland hitters. The first 6 guys in that lineup tonight have a very nice fly ball rate. So that's something to at least keep in mind. Title, Lance Lynn versus the A's. Now, we're not going there in cash, I know. Can you make the case for any A's tonight?
Yeah, so the only guy I could really make a case for is Matt Olson. I mean, he's been absolutely crushing the baseball right there in the 3-hole, good fly ball. He's just someone you can always target. He's going to be low owned, so I like that play, but I can't get behind any bats, really. I don't like playing hitters in this park in general. I like both pitchers that I have interest in, and I'm going to be playing Lynn as only one of my 3 pitchers. So, I mean, I'm going to play the other side too in Luzardo. So, because I'm only playing such a tight rotation of pitchers, I don't even really feel comfortable playing anybody against them. So, I'm going to be off it. Oakland strikes out a lot. You didn't mention the fly ball rate. So, Lynn obviously does have some concerns. If you're MMBing, you can get Oakland at 3%. And all you need to do, because of the fly ball rate, you can pick off the solo homers, and that can win a stack for sure. It's not something I'm going to be doing.
Yeah, on the other side, and Hoop, we'll get to you on Texas, and I want to get your thoughts on Texas too, Title. But I'm just looking at the K rates against lefties. 54% for Danny Santana, 50% for Joey Gallo, 30% for Rougned Odor. I mean, we got some monster K numbers tonight, and this is another reason why I like Luzardo, Hoop. And maybe it's not the easy way to go with cash, but in GPPs, I'm going to put 4 lineups in tonight. And I think 2 of those, at least one on FanDuel is going to be Luzardo. And I'm going to have at least a share of him on Draftkings too. The FanDuel thing, probably not the greatest idea, but I'm going to go for it anyways. I mean, this is just a beautiful matchup for Jesus Luzardo, Hoop.
Yeah, I mean, when we talked about pitchers, I said I'm playing 3 pitchers, and 2 of them are in this game. So, I like to make things simple in DFS and simple for myself. To me, no reason to even target any of these hitters. I'm playing these pitchers. And the offenses, for me, I'll have no exposure, not even one. I mean, I guess you kind of, like you said, I mean, the argument for Matt Olson, I get it. But, yeah, I'm just not playing any hitters from this game. I'm playing the pitchers.
Title, just move on. Is that where we are with this?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much move on. You mentioned Gallo and them, but Texas, actually, if you look at it, there's only 2 lefties in this lineup. I know the bottom of the order isn't scary at all, so it's not as bad. But the top of the order is actually pretty solid righties. So, I mean, I'm still going to have Luzardo. I just don't think that Texas lineup is as great. I mean, yeah, because of lefties, but move on.
This is insane. Again, I was looking through this matchup. There's not one lineup that I really, really like tonight. And that goes for betting too. Like, I'm not taking the overs in anything. It's just gross. And of course, that means that 5 of these teams are going to put up double-digit runs tonight, right? But
probably.
Yeah, probably. Brett Anderson, he doesn't like to strike people out. He does like to allow hard contact, which is very nice. I mean, this really, if you go back, though, in a bigger picture, what do you think about Anderson versus this Reds lineup? I mean, Castellanos, Suarez, there's some dudes that just, again, pummel left-handed hitting. If there's one offense that I think people are going to overlook, to me, it's this one. Are people not going to overlook it, Title? Is Cincinnati like legitimate, maybe the number 2 stack tonight, or are they going to overlook it?
No, I honestly think they'll be over. I don't think there's really going to be one team that really stands out. I think the top 2 are actually going to be the Cubs and the D-backs. So I think the Reds will be overlooked. And Suarez is actually one of my favorite plays on the slate at third base. I mean, the position isn't great. He's cheap enough where he's affordable, and he crushes left-handed pitching. So, I mean, he has been cold. He just got back yesterday. I think he hit a homer, if I'm not mistaken. So he hasn't looked great, but I'm going to go with the long-term sample size, and he mashes left-hand pitching. Brett Anderson doesn't strike anyone out. He is a ground ball pitcher, which I think is going to keep Cubs or Reds ownership down, and for rightfully so. But it's a ballpark where you want to target. I like the righties, Castellanos, Suarez. You got Matt Davidson in the 4-hole, way too cheap. He's definitely a very good value play. And then I like Phillip Ervin in the 6-hole as well, who's too cheap. So definitely an offense I like. And then for the Brewers, I mean, I can't go there.
Yeah, if you're stacking, maybe even go down to the bottom, make yourself really different with Casale and Farmer. Both of those guys.
I don't hate the bottom.
That?
They're not bad hitters, so I like that call. Good call, Holden.
And they've got nice splits. They got nice splits, so I like that too. Hoop, give me your takedown or your rundown on the Reds today, and then before you get to the Reds, I need to bring this up. What the hell is going on with Christian Yelich? I mean, this has been a completely wasted season for him. He's been just pedestrian at this point. This is a guy we used to love locking in, right? Personally, he's like a $3,900 hitter max, and he's getting priced up still. The guy I like from the Brewers, though, is Keston Hiura. Nice matchup. Got the lefty, or he's got Bauer, and then he's hit 3 home runs in his last 7 games. This kid is really good. Any one-offs from the Milwaukee side, and then Hoop, give me that rundown on the Reds.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pick on Bauer. I mean, he's in one of the 3 pitchers. Like I said, I'm playing today, so I won't have any Brewers. I don't think the Reds are going to be overly owned. Like, I think we're going to see a lot of Cubs. I think you're going to see a lot of Diamondbacks. I think you're going to see a lot of Astros. In terms of ownership, I think they're going to be down, 5, 6, 7. And I really like these guys. I mean, 2, 3, 4, I have a ton of interest in. Castellanos, Suarez, Davidson, all solid versus left-handed pitching. On the road here, I like all 3 of those guys. I like stacking up the Reds as a low-owned stack. Not low-owned. No one's going to be super low-owned just because we only have 7 games or whatever it is. But I don't think they're going to be extremely have extreme ownership. So a lot of interest in those 3 specifically for the Reds.
Okay, very good. Guys, hit that like button. Where are we right now? We are at 72. Well, that's not bad. Get another 38. If you're already sitting there, just hit the like button. Oh my God, these guys are looking for a date for me. That's great. Again,
you brought that on yourself.
Yeah, we didn't see this coming, but again, the farmers only thing. I mean, you think about thinking outside the box. This is the way to go. You're a really smart guy. Kansas City at St. Louis. Flaherty. So why is he at 80 pitches tonight? What's going on here?
He only pitched like 40 last time out, and I guess they're just kind of getting him going a little bit, and sounds like 80 at the most. So I mean, I was on him early, and then I did some digging, and I'm just going to go with the other guys and avoid the risk. Yeah, I mean, he can still get there at 80 pitches. So in tournaments, if you want to take a look, I don't hate it, but I want guys that can go deeper than that. Title talked on it. We want guys that can pick up the quality starts, be in there for the win. And, I don't know if that's the case. I mean, the matchup is good and everything, but probably have to put him below these other 3 that we talked about. You guys that watch this, who the one-offs are for a lot of our players, and usually the cheaper one-offs. Guys, here's who won me some money yesterday, Hunter Dozier. Hunter Dozier is crushing the baseball right now. He's only 3-3 on FanDuel, 3-8 on Draftkings. I really like him on Draftkings. He is going to be – I got to think he's going to be super low-owned tonight. Nobody's going to be on him. Solaire's another guy. So if we're looking for 2 batters with good fly ball rates, terrific ISOs, nice WOBAs against Jack Flaherty, either one of you, can you make the case for one of these Royals guys in cash, or is this just a GPP play only and a stupid GPP play? Who? Definitely just GPP. I mean, I'm not going to be playing Royals in cash, so it would be GPP, yeah.
How about you, Title?
Yep, same as Sam. You can play those
that.
2.
Okay, I get what you guys are calling me. I love Keller. Keller's my guy. So Brad Keller tonight going up against St. Louis. And there's some St. Louis hitters that could take. There's some fly ball hitters in that game. But the problem is for St. Louis is that Keller is just a badass. He keeps the ball on the ground. He has his K rate's fine so far. The xFIP's not where it needs to be. I think he's taken a little step back, but I love Keller just from the standpoint of the talent. Maybe I'm the only one. I love Brad Keller. He's my guy. Title, St. Louis's side.
Yeah, definitely not as high in Keller as you are, but Keller has always been a guy for me who's never someone I really play in DFS because the strikeout upside isn't great or something, but he always seems to limit the opposing team's damage and not someone I pick on him as a lot. So I don't love the Cardinal bats, and I probably wouldn't have any on a normal slate, but this isn't a normal slate, unfortunately. So some of the Cardinals are a little too cheap. Matt Carpenter really sticks out batting 4th. I know Matt Carpenter in 2020, it just really does not sound fun. The upside doesn't sound great, but he does have a good fly ball rate. He is too cheap at a position that's not great. So I'm fine going there. Brad Miller batting second, I like as well. So Edman batting leadoff. Those are the three that I really would look at, but it's not an offense I'm really trying to jam in. If I land on there as a last piece because they're so cheap in cash, I'm okay with that. But Keller is just, he limits the damage with his ground balls.
I mean, you look at his xFIP, it's up in the near 5, but just his old school numbers, he's 3-0 with a .91 whip. And how many Ks? He's got to have like 15 Ks in 17 and 2/3 innings. Like real life numbers, he's gotten good. He doesn't have a very tough matchup tonight. So maybe that's why it's more of a betting angle than a DFS angle. But I do like, again, I like a one-off with Hunter Dozier tonight, and that'd be about it. Next game we only got 2 more games. I have some Astros news for you. So let me get you some Astros news. Has nothing to do with tonight, but Verlander threw 20 pitches and he's not feeling any pain. So Verlander, I suppose, could be back. And then the Angels and the Astros, they have been moved to next Tuesday. So Thursday's game is going to be moved to next week. Just so you know, later in the week, so you know there's going to be some PPDs. But let's start with the Angels hitters going up against Framber, who's got that 23% strikeout rate. Not a lot of fly balls either. And he's got an Angels team that to this point this season has really struggled against left-handers with the exception of maybe Trout and Rendon. If you look back at a bigger sample size going back to last year, it's a different story. But let's start with you here, Hoop. On the Angels side, is there 1 or 2 players you can look at?
I mean, this guy's been good. I mean, Valdez has been pretty solid, and it's going to be a true test for him because the Angels have a pretty strong lineup, especially Trout, Rendon. Fletcher's been decent. I think, going to a guy like Trout or Rendon as one-offs, I think is in play here. I don't think the ownership is going to be super high in either of those guys. I don't mind that whatsoever. And then on the Astros side, I really like the Astros. You got the usual suspects up top in Springer, Altuve, Correa. Correa is really cheap on FanDuel. He's only like 3.1K. So I have some interest in him. Gurriel, I don't mind batting 5th. Their prices are up on DK, so it's a little bit harder, especially if you're going to play Bauer and Lynn like we talked about. Let me pull them up on FanDuel. Yeah, so I mean, like Altuve's 3.7, Correa's 3.1. It's easier to play on FanDuel opposed to DK, but I definitely have interest in the Astros. And then, like I said, Trout and Rendon is more of a one-off options in tournaments. I think is interesting.
Yeah, see, we haven't really talked about the Astros though. We finally got to the game, but Sandoval just got lit up by the Giants.
Yeah,
he did give up 4 runs to the Dodgers too. It's not like this guy is an elite pitcher. They're hitting a left-hander today, so I like that too. Title, why aren't we hearing more about the Astros? We're hearing all about the Cubs. Why aren't you on the Astros tonight?
It's not that I'm really not on the Astros. It's more comes down to the pricing, and I think the spots are pretty similar. I don't love this offense without Bregman. They haven't been in the best form either. Their lineup they rolled out with Kyle Tucker batting 4th, 2 lefty. It's just this offense just isn't coming together as a stack that I'm really feeling comfortable with, if that makes sense. So it's not that I don't like the offense a lot. I'll have pieces. Altuve, Correa. Correa is my favorite play as on the Astros, as Hoop kind of mentioned. Just underpriced at a shortstop position I don't love. There's another option or another couple options that you can do. But so for the Astros, that's kind of why. But going to the Angels, they're going to be low owned, and this is probably my favorite tournament stack of the night if you're in a big field GPP. Sorry. And that's because I like how they have the road. They're on the road, so they get the 9th inning at bat. Trout and Rendon, I think, have huge game against lefties. I always like them. They're going to be way under-owned on a 7-game slate. And then from there, that's when the decision, I think you lock those 2 in every single LA stack. And then from there, you go to like Pujols, Adele, Upton. I like Simmons at the bottom of the order. I think this is a lineup that you can stack top to bottom. Fletcher's been hitting the ball pretty well. It doesn't have the best numbers, but always seems to be on base for Rendon and Trout. So that's my tournament stack of the night in large field GPPs. Don't go crazy in cash and get four Angels or anything, but just my favorite low-owned tournament team tonight.
You got any Angels there, Hoop?
Oh, yeah, like I said, yeah, Trout and Rendon is more of one-off type plays, but I don't know if I'll be stacking them. But I just don't like the surrounding pieces as much, I guess.
Okay, very good. We got one more game, and I think the roof is open at Arizona. I've been doing these shows here. The last 2 times I did the shows, the roof was open there in Arizona, and I didn't care because they had good pitchers on the mound. And good pitching is usually going to beat any type of environmental problem that they could have outside of the wind blowing straight out, where it's just carrying the ball. So, but here's the difference, though. There's not a really strong pitcher. The last time it was Dinelson Lamet. This time it's Ryan Castellini going for the Colorado Rockies into Arizona. He's a right-hander. He's a guy that doesn't strike guys out. He's a guy that, gives up decent fly balls. His hard hit rate's 58%. I mean, this is insane. So, Hoop, are we starting with Calhoun? You make the case for stacking the top 4. I'm not touching anything here, probably below Peralta, the top 4. I mean, Walker, I'll put in a lefty matchup, but not today. Diamondbacks, you high on the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, it's probably my favorite spot here for a couple reasons. The first reason, obviously the matchup is pretty good. The roof open and the prices are affordable across the industry. You can comfortably load up on Diamondbacks and you're not really paying a premium, especially on DK. I mean, Calhoun and Peralta's 3.4K on DK. I think that's a crazy price tag. Calhoun's under 4K as well. He's 3.9K. I think they're both really strong plays. I don't mind going down a little bit lower. Like Escobar should be low owned, batting 6. I do like Walker. I know we prefer him probably from the other side of the plate, but I think he's a fine play. Peralta, like I said, too cheap. Calhoun too cheap. So I'm going to have a lot of Diamondbacks. They're probably my favorite team here tonight.
What about the other side? The Rockies, they don't really hit on the road. Going up against Kelly. Kelly's been very good. 23% K rate, 48% ground ball rate. Title, where are you on that game?
Yeah, so I agree with Hoop. Not really gonna add anything too much about the Diamondbacks. I pretty much agree with everything. Favorite stack because of pricing and just how the slate works out. So I'm not gonna waste any more time on there. And then I like the Rockies again as a low-owned team. Angels and Rockies are my 2 favorites. I like the late night games tonight. They're always under-owned, just because I don't know, out west, I don't know, people just don't like staying up as late. I mean, it seems like their implied total in Vegas isn't always there, but today a lot of people don't have, or teams don't have high totals. So I like going to the Rockies. I know Kelly's been okay, but I mean, if this was in Coors, this has a 413 total or whatever it is, so it'd be massive chalk. So I like getting them way more low owned. I'm hoping, I haven't seen the lineup yet, but if Tapia's up top, he's really cheap on DraftKings, 3,400. Story, Arenado, 5,200, 5,100 respectively. They're not too expensive. This would be more if you go Luzardo, Lynn route, or something like that. So definitely have some Colorado and tournament lineups at sub 5%.
By the way, I'm just looking at the Rockies OPS, 592 OPS. That is by far and away the worst in baseball. I mean, it's brutal. We know that's too, and they just can't hit on the road. The Angels aren't much better. I know we had a comment in the chat. The Angels aren't much better at 660. They're in the bottom, 5 or 6 in the league too. So how much should we look at that?
People will see that though. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I don't look at it too much because I like looking at a whole. Like I'm still using last year's data for my sample size. I look at it occasionally just this year. Like, I mean, or like I watch a lot of the sports. You can tell if a hitter is just completely lost, or you can tell if they're getting unlucky. Like JD Martinez has looked lost to me. He might be getting back, but beginning of the year, he just looked lost. Then there's some people that are, I can't think of any on the top of my head, just lining in unlucky outs, hitting the ball hard. So just got to look at stuff like that. I just think the Rockies are too talented of an offense with Story, Arenado, them, where even if they are on the road, I mean, when they get the hang of the ball, I mean, it's going far. It don't matter. It's going out regardless of the park. So if your ownership's cutting a fifth because of their park that they're in, I mean, just sign me up. So that's the only reason that I'm going back there.
Now that we care, I haven't really even checked into this. The Giants, though, have the 6th highest OPS in baseball at home. People just sleep on the Giants all the time. Nobody's caught on to him yet. Thank God. Like, Yastrzemski's a legit superstar. So
our RPS did. I mean, the day that JSU, Big T, and JT won all the money, it was RPS has been on there. That's for sure.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like nobody else in the industry, it seems like, has really picked up on it yet, and hopefully they won't. But at some point in time, they're going to. It's too bad we don't have them on the slate tonight. Anything else you guys wanted to just throw in before we move on to the stacks, guys? Anything? Pitching, position player, we get it all. Beautiful. Top 3 stacks tonight. Do you have 3 stacks, Title? No.
My favorite, the kind of, as we said, Diamondbacks, and then the Cubs, and then I'm gonna say the Angels and Rockies is my third that are tied as the low-owned ones. It's really not today. You don't need to focus on stacking as much. I mean, you can really just pick the best bats off, because unless you really expect an offense to just blow up, if a couple of teams just score 6 runs, the winning lineup, the optimal lineup, could be a bunch of one-offs that are just solo shots. So that's just how the slate is today.
All right, so I know what you're going to do there, Hoop. So let's get to the home runs. You guys have to give 3. I only got to give 1. I'm going back to the well with Hunter Dozier. Back-to-back days, Hunter Dozier. Hoop, who's your home run calls?
My home run calls, I'm going to say Suarez and Davidson from the Reds. I like both those guys. I like your Reds. You kind of talked me into the Reds a little bit here. I liked them, and then you talked highly of them. Now I'm on them a little bit more, so I'm going to say those 2 guys. And let me pick a low-owned one. I'll say Stephen Vogt at catcher.
Ooh, Stephen Vogt. All right.
Pretty random.
Little D-backs love there. What about
yes. Stephen Vogt at catcher.
Yes.
Ooh.
Stephen Vogt. All right.
Oh, now he's definitely hitting it down. We get the audio playback immediately.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know what's going on there.
I was like, what is
That's either a 0 for 5 or a double dong. Could be a double dong.
Double dong Davidson. I'm taking that. Guys, you failed today. You only got to 92 likes. Now, we are doing a shorter show, but how about this? If we get 8 likes in the next 2 minutes, 8 likes, just get us to 100. I'll even take it down from 110, and then we'll pick one out, and then we'll go from there. So what are you're just going to be sweating out NBA more than baseball tonight, both of you guys? Now you're talking about NBA, and I don't get my homer calls. Oh, you didn't give them?
Oh, I mean, so I bring up NBA in the beginning, and then it's MLB show, and no, I didn't give them yet.
You busting my balls, TT boy? Huh?
Oh,
Listen,
yeah.
I didn't want that to become a thing. You know, Big T was the one calling you out the other day, calling you TT boy. I was going to let it go, but if you're going to come at me, man, let me introduce you to the winner's win tiger. Because this dude will eat you. He will take you down. All right, who's your runs?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Nolan Arenado up top, who's gonna be 5%. Big T stole Big T. Geez, now you got me thinking of him. Hoop stole my Suarez call in the mid range. I mean, I like him a lot, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say Wilson Contreras, who I like in the 5 hole, and then for a cheap one. Let's go with Dell batting 6 on the Angels. I like him for a value play. Think he hits one off against the lefty.
All right, cool. We got to 104. Good job, guys. Way to hit that like button.
Back to your question about sweating it out. I mean, I'm always sweating out both sports. I'm very excited for the game tonight, of course. Have a series bet on the Blazers, actually, that was looking good, got a good price. So, I mean, it's always fun watching that. So, of course, I mean, I got one screen with a little NBA, one with a little MLB, and can't go wrong with that.
2 televisions?
Oh, I got my computer and a phone, then a TV. So I got 3 screens going.
Hoop, what's your setup, buddy? What's your setup at home?
Yeah, I have like not a great setup because I don't watch all the sports like on a consistent basis. So got the main TV. I got the basement with the bar where I can come down and kind of be by myself and watch the games, and then the workbench TV. So not a crazy like 3-screen TV type person.
All right, I just went through Brandon Anderson, Mr. Anderson. Yes, Brandon Anderson. He says the Reds are sure going to hit tonight. So basically what you got to do, Hoop, do they just hit you up? What do they do again? I don't remember how they
I want to contact Mr. Big T either on Twitter or email info@RunPureSports, and we'll get that sent out with the next shipment.
Terrific. And again, if you guys have any questions before lock, we got all of our analysts in the Discord. So if you have a subscription, go download the Discord and go talk to these guys and ask them questions. That's the big thing that is going to give you an edge here. They are there all the time. I think Travis even showed up during the show at one point and just said, listen, guys, I don't know why he showed up. I don't even like calling him Travis. He's more of a Mangone to me, but that's GPP Travis. He can win it all at any point in time, I suppose. So you win, Brandon. Hit the Discord, and that's about it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I know it was a little shorter show tonight, but we have a very small slate, which actually might be able to work to your benefit. So good luck with that. Hoop, have a wonderful evening. Good luck tonight. TT Boy, have a wonderful evening. Good luck tonight. I'm Holden Kushner. Good luck to myself and all of our listeners and our followers and our viewers, and we'll catch you tomorrow.